Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. As it happens, I'm actually, this is my day off. This is the day where I get to paint. So I will be chatting about Dungeons and Dragons, but the reality is I'm here to apply some dark washes to a number of miniatures. Now, the miniatures that I have for today is the Xanathar Beholder miniature. I have the Sharkman, and I have an Owlbear that I'm going to use as well to sort of cover. That's the plan anyway. And you're welcome to talk about Dungeons and Dragons with me as I do this. I'm going to start with the Xanathar Beholder miniature, and then I'm going to work my way probably over to the Owlbear next. And then I'm hoping at that point I'll be ready to move on to something else. Maybe I'll get 3 done. I don't know. I'm probably going to do this for about an hour and then I'll take a break. Okay, so I'm going to use the brown wash that is in the Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments Monster Paint set. And I give it a good hard shake. I've expanded out the view just a little bit, just because some of the views that you're going to wind up getting are going to have the miniature standing so that I can actually apply. Alright, okay, so this is the brown wash. The brown wash is not really the one I wanted, was it? The brown wash was supposed to be for the Owlbear. Right, we'll switch out and do the Owlbear first. There we go. Let's get the Owlbear sorted out. It's been waiting for ages. I'll get my brush wet. And that should be good enough to get things flowing. Yep, good enough. Excellent, that's what we want. So I'm probably just going to be fairly aggressive, and then I will move everything around after. Hang on. Yep. And I know the general sort of belief is you put your wash on, you move it around, and you do some highlights after. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to be doing a lot of highlights. Not for today anyway. Okay, so where is that wash again? Brown wash, bit more, going to require a bit more. I do apologise for those of you who've wondered where I've been. I've been away for like 2 weeks. Just wanted to sort of take a break. I had sort of burnt myself out a little bit, and I just needed to sort of step away from everything, and that's exactly what I did. The Dungeons and Dragons community has been moving along, obviously, without me, because I haven't really been keeping up with things. But I do understand that I don't understand why the Tyranny of Dragons adventure has been re-released. So that's supposed to be coming out in October, 22nd of this year. I think I've mentioned that before. I still don't understand why they would re-release that particular adventure. I mean, it had a whole lot of problems, so hopefully I've been told that they have tried to make some amendments and adjustments to the first chapter of the adventure, because it had so many sort of dramatic issues, things that resulted in players going down real quick. Gardane, how's it going, Gardane? So only a few more months before that comes out if anybody's really inclined. My personal feeling is the Horde of the Dragon Queen is the weakest element of the story, and I liked the Rise of Tiamat. The only problem is it's not a very well written adventure, because it's really just a skeleton, requires a lot of work on your part as a dungeon master. But the big go right now, the big talk is the Pathfinder roleplay game, 2nd edition, going to be coming out very shortly. I don't know that I am the sort of person who's likely to pick that book up. So if anybody's thinking I was going to do a review, I know what Paizo do well. Paizo do game accessories really well, and they do really good job of adventures. They write some very good adventures. I'm not saying they're original, but they do some pretty good stuff. Certainly some of my favourites have come out of that particular company's design team. But when it comes to things like the core mechanics of the game system, I mean, they're really just using the open game license for 3.5. Now with Dungeons and Dragons 5e being out for a while, and it's really sort of sucked away a lot of the Pathfinder players, I can see that this Pathfinder 2nd edition, and to my understanding and my view, is it is trying to duplicate a lot of the things that Dungeons and Dragons 5e was doing, but they've added in a lot of the complexity that their player base prefer. You know, because there's a quite a high level of skill mastery required for Pathfinder. It's not a very good game if you're just stepping in for the very first time. And from what I can see so far, they have taken elements of 3.5, thrown in a few ideas themselves, and taken a whole bunch of information and ideas from the Dungeons and Dragons 5e game system, and applied that particularly to character creation, and a little bit to combat mechanics. But I feel like, you know, if you focus too much on combat mechanics, then really you're just playing a war game anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what the response is from the wider community when it's freely available. Right now, it's just a couple of people who are doing reviews that have been, you know, books that have been sent out and so forth. I think it was Dwarven Swiftbow. He's done a sort of a basic talk about it and hasn't really shown people the book. It's a really big book, something like 600 pages. I'm not really surprised. That sort of seems like, you know, the original Pathfinder book was a very large book. It was supposed to do more than one thing too, so it makes a lot of sense that it was large. It was kind of like a combination of Dungeon Master Guide and Player's Handbook. And then you had to go and buy the bestiary separately to be able to sort of get all your monster stat blocks and so forth. Okay. Yeah, are you using water-based tones? Yes, this is all water-based. This is just water-based. It's not an oil-based one at all. It's just the one that came with the, like I said, the Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments. That's just Army Painter paint, by the way. It's just an Army Painter wash. So even though it says brown wash and it's got D&D on it, that's just an Army Painter wash. Hi Matt, how's it going? How are you doing? I needed to watch this. Oh, good, cool. I'm glad. I'm happy. That's good news. Yes, wore myself out, which is why I've been away for so long. You guys remember each other's names better than I do. I forget. There's a lot of different names to remember. Between usernames and real names, a lot of variation, right? Okay, so we're going to keep applying a bit more of this wash and then shift it around. I'm good, Fred. Glad you're back. I'm glad I'm back too. I needed to do some stuff. I've been in the garden, done a lot of gardening. But yeah, I am. I know that one of my friends will probably let me know a lot about what's going on with the Pathfinder 2nd edition. I suspect they will make sure there's huge quantities of choice. Not great for a new player, but certainly for an advanced player or somebody who's sort of thinks that way and likes that sort of thing, it's going to work out well for them. It's a tricky thing because I know a lot of people ask me questions about these sorts of things, and the honest truth is when I build my own characters, I tend to use only the stuff that's in the player's handbook. That's it, and I usually don't go any further than that. And anything that I do differently is just, I guess, decisions that I make. And because I play a wizard, I feel like I have enough choices and options available as a wizard in terms of what I can do by just casting spells rather than worrying about all the other bits and pieces. But that's just me. Okay. Let's see. Well, I feel like that is dirtied up nicely. That's what I was hoping for, and it has. It's dirtied up those paws. Those paws, claws, the claws where the paws are. Yeah. All right. And Now, let's just have a look, see if there's anything. I've put it on really, really thin. I haven't put it on that thick. I didn't really feel like I needed to anyway. Okay, so let's just pick out a few locations and see where we go from there. Fred, did you get those pick of the table? Yeah, John, I did. And let's have a talk about that game table while we're here. I think it's a good time to talk about it. I'm going to collect up those photos. If you're all right with me, I will put them together into sort of like a video. If you're happy for me to use them and put them on my channel, that's what I will do. I would have much preferred to have a really short 2 or 3 minute video that I could sort of show people and then direct them to your YouTube channel if you had a YouTube channel, which I believe you say you do. That would have been like the best thing as far as I could say, just because, I guess a little less work rather than just having a selection of images. It's video, right? So moving pictures is always nice. A lot of people, when they send me video clips, what they do is they send them through using OneDrive or Dropbox, a variety of other things. But as I said, I'll take those images if you're all right with me doing that, and I'll pull them together into a video, show people, and if there's enough information, then yeah, we can direct them to your website or your YouTube channel, whichever one you prefer. I like the idea. I think it's a good idea. I like the table more than I do the initiative tracker. That was just the thing that I sort of stuck out for me. Okay. Let's just darken the face up a little bit more. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to clean up my brush, and I'm going to grab the next one. So that hasn't taken me too long. I didn't really feel like I had to do very much with it. In fact, it was pretty unnecessary to do too much. Messed up with the wash on my mini. I just painted. I made her skin too dark. Yeah, you got to be. But that's easy to do, right? Because you're dealing with skin and it's a light skin, and you wind up putting on a wash, then it winds up making it much darker than you really wanted it to. You need to repaint. It's always a drag when you've got to repaint a face. Faces are like hard enough as it is. Repainting a face sucks. So that's a drag. Absolutely. Okay. Alright, so next one on the list. Let's go to the Xanathar, because I'm hoping that if I get Gale Force 9's Xanathar done and the Owlbear, they'll send me more stuff to show people. And to be honest, that's the way I normally like to go, is like, if I can get some more stuff sent to me, then awesome, we'll do that. Yeah, it's not too bad. The Xanathar turned out pretty good. But you can't really see it from here. I'll sort of turn it like that. There you go. So I'm going to wash this little sucker. There's lots to wash. I've got to be careful. What's going to probably happen when I wash the eyes is they might wind up being too dark in where the whites are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one that's just one of them, see what it looks like. If I don't like it, then I'll leave them alone and just put the wash in the places that I think are appropriate. That's the plan anyway. To get it to you. You don't understand. Yeah, it's what you do is, if you can upload, if you make it just like 2-3 minutes. Don't make it very long. It just needs to be really short. You can even make it shorter than that. That's fine. Okay, I will sort out all the rest. I will do any editing that needs to be done, or tidying up, or adding bits on. I will do all of that. Yes. Let's get rid of the brown. I don't want the brown. I want. So I've got a flash wash. The flash wash is probably going to be better for light areas. And then I'll do the shadow wash with darker colours for with the bluers. So that's what we'll start with. Dun, 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 dun. What's that, Matt? I seen a review on the new D&D books, second edition book. Looks, long story short, it's a bunch of expensive books. Not really good news for new players. No, it isn't. No, I didn't really feel it was. But that's to be expected by Paizo. I'm just wondering if they will try to take it to court and claim that Pathfinder 2 isn't under the open game license and is different enough to be able to claim it as their own intellectual property. They tried that with the first Pathfinder game and the courts threw it out, but you never know. who can tell with these things? Sometimes it can get a little bit wacky. Not that Dungeons and Dragons has not been responsible for taking other people's intellectual properties in the past, because it certainly has. All right, so this is the darker one. I'm going to put on the blue. Who we got in here? Did you make the stone base, or was it already part of the mold? The stone base already came with it. I didn't make it. It all came together. Yeah, you just share the link to the Dropbox or OneDrive. There's a whole bunch of different sharing platforms, but I would suggest those ones because they are less prone to viruses and other issues. I've used them before and they've worked out fine. Somebody sent me one of their videos of something which I won't talk about because I haven't put it out yet. And it's really cool. It was only like 3 minutes, but it still was really impressive, and it was easy for me to download. Piece of cake. Big Notorious Kid, how's it going? And so lady, I use a black wash on everything. Well, I don't think you have to use a different wash for everything. You could probably just use a black wash for everything. I don't think that'd be an issue, really. Okay, so let's just put that like there. Grab some more of this. This is the shadow stuff. The video that is. The video that is. Yeah. Oh, you're so lazy. No. Well, I wouldn't look. I only had one wash until I bought. I got this box delivered to me, so now I have 4 washes. And I wouldn't have bought 4 washes. I wouldn't have bothered because they're expensive. So that would have been something I would have looked at and said, nah, I'm not doing that. And let's just get this bit done. And here, a combination of blue and purple. Really, really interested to see how this is all going to work out in the end, but we'll see. You never know with a wash, eh? It made a really good job of, what was it? The Shambling Mound miniature that I have. Made a really nice job of that. I'm so pleased. Significant improvement. Solved a lot of things that I couldn't fix. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll leave that. That's fine. That's fine. We can get away with chucking this stuff onto the white. It doesn't look too bad at all. And cha 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 cha. And in here, down this way. So I'm putting 2 different washes on this. I'm just doing the darker one first. Cool, blimey. Don't separate. This is just a really cheap brush. If you're wondering why it's sort of doing funny things, it's because it's just a really cheap brush. I'm not really using a very expensive one. Not for something like this. And it's got a really, really soft bristle, so they sort of bend funny. Go. Right, let's grab some more of that. I'm almost done with the dark wash. And I think that case with is it Orc Pub and the Wizards is just stupid. Speaking of cases. Ah, okay. I'm not too familiar with that one. You'll have to explain more. Orc Pub. I don't know much about Orc Pub. Yeah. I don't know what the story is. I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with everything, so I don't know exactly what Orc Pub is all about. So I'll read through here. Hopefully I'll figure out the gist of it, eh? What's that, Matt? They shut Orc Pub down. You have to a member to see what Orc Pub has, not paying money for that. Well, understandable. Totally understand. Look, and I will say it now that we're on Twitch TV, right? Don't send me bits on Twitch TV. Don't, if you're going to try to support me, don't send me bits on Twitch TV. Don't sign up for a subscription or anything like that. Just go to Patreon, okay? Pay a monthly fee of $1 or $2 or whatever if you want to support me that way, because most of the money goes to me rather than to some other third-party individual, and that's much smarter. Or just go buy stuff through my Amazon affiliate links. That's always a much better option. It's my view anyway. But yes, I noticed there was a lot of people who are sort of trying to, it's rough. I'm at the point now where I have to sort of make some hard decisions. I've got to find a job. I've been struggling to find something, and winter's over, so I'm hoping it'll be a little bit easier now. That there'll be a few more jobs available. Everything's a bit slower now here in New Zealand, so the market's sort of falling apart a little bit. And that's doing all right. Oh, by the way, there's a for those of you who've watched some of my monster tactic videos, and Big Notorious Kid would know what I'm talking about because I've done some video. I will get back to doing the elementals videos. It'll happen eventually. I just haven't done anything recently, and that is the Monsters Know website. The guy who put that together, you can go and sort of check out his stuff. He's got a book coming out. He's got a hardback book and an electronic book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing, Combat Tactics for Dungeon Master. It's basically around Dungeons and Dragons 5e rather than any other game system. And I wouldn't say all the advice is super fantastic, but I believe that's going to be out and available on October the 29th. Pardon me, a bit of gas. I'm a bit gassy today. All right. Well, I feel like the eyes actually improved by putting that darker wash on, so that's good. Okay, so let's have a look at this and just see if there's anywhere I need to apply it. It's certainly gotten rid of that sort of very sort of bright coloured look to it. It looks a little bit more dirty, and I think that's actually probably a good thing. And the back here is a lot darker. I applied quite a lot more wash to the back of it. Then there's a lot more purple on the back of this miniature too, so that would probably make a huge difference. Okay, alright, so let's switch that out and grab the next wash, which is going to be the flesh wash. I'm going to use that one for all of the lighter areas rather than the darker ones. Ah, so it's a site for DMs and players. Ah. Do. Well, I'm glad everybody missed me. It's good. It means that I have something to offer. The problem is, I was doing so much stuff. I was actually running out of ideas, and I was also exhausted. I was working far too many hours trying to look for work and do all this YouTube stuff and live streaming, and it was just a bit much. Or should I say mate? Yeah, I can say Fred, mate, I don't mind. It's all good. Well, cheap brushes are the thing, right? I mean, in New Zealand, I know a good brush is just over $10. That's quite a bit of money. Well, it certainly is right now for me. And I never really bought that many. I only bought the ones I was really, felt I needed to have. And they were absolutely vital for what I was doing. Okay, so let's deal with fleshy areas. I'm going to go with the mouth and the teeth And I'm also going to go with this undersection here, which I feel like the brown is going to probably be a better option than the really dark one that I was using. There's going to be some splash over, guaranteed. Okay. And it's going to sort of brown everything up just a little bit. And since this part of the beholder is kind of brown, it makes a lot of sense, right? Oh, well, that's my view anyway. That's my view. Okay, let's muddy up that a bit. Yep. And then flip it around and do the down this way. There's not a lot of recesses in this part of the miniature, so it's probably all it's going to probably do is sort of like darken it a little bit, and that's about it. And take a lot of the sort of brightness away. Okay, now I need to use a smaller brush to attack the eyes. I'm going to try and use this on the eyes and see if I can apply it a bit better. Critical fail. Yeah, oh, you know. Gas is gas, right? Everybody has it. Oh, that eye looks really good. What did I do with that eye? Oh, that's right. I used a couple of different colours there. It's actually made the eye look... I'd almost forgotten all the things I'd done with these eyes. There's more than one colour going on there, so it's actually pretty good in terms of... Well, that's my view anyway. I am probably going to apply more wash to this. We'll just get it started. Okay, let's get some more. It ain't going to be enough. Where's the flesh? Flesh wash, that's the one. Well, John, you know, you don't have to. I'm still going to be here. At this present time, I'll still be here. So it's not a big issue. But by all means, you know, I'm happy to do the photos, but if you send me a video, I will put it on my channel for sure. Because I looked at the photos and I liked what I saw, and I really feel like it should be shared with other people. And I know you've sent me an email about the table, and from the gist of it, it sounded like you were trying to make me a table. I'm in New Zealand, man. It would cost you a fortune to send it to me, and I can't really afford to ship it. So I suggest forgetting about all that sort of stuff. I am happy to promote it. You've got to remember that it's another video that I can show people off, that I didn't have to actually do all the work for, other than have a chat and have a look at your photos. You know, there's not a lot to it, so it's a good deal for me, and it's a good deal for everybody else because they get to see what you've done, which was awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna just checking the eyes, just make sure I don't put too much of this in here. There's too much in that one. We're going to just brush it out a little bit. And yep, that's fine. Let's keep going. I apologize if I'm not paying attention to the but he is doing a good thing fighting wizards. Well, I'm not really sort of up for fighting wizards of the coast. I don't really feel like fighting wizards of the coast is necessary, but I like the idea of there being plenty of options. I think it's going to be very telling in the next few months in terms of what goes on there. I noticed that all of the major YouTube channels are now being picked up by D&D Beyond as permanent sponsors, which must mean that D&D Beyond must be making gobs of money. The only explanation, right, is they're making like so much money that they can afford to do that sort of thing. Right, so I'll just brush down on the teeth and I'll put a bit more in there. Don't want the bubbles. Okay. Now, just trying to brush away from the tip of the teeth down to the gums more, so that there's more colour there. Okay, so that's not too bad. I think what we'll do is I'm just going to work my way into the eyes a little bit, and I think we're pretty close to being sort of mostly done with these. This is good. It's just, I can darken that up quite a bit with this stuff. The smaller brushes actually made it a little bit easier too. It's being a bit of a rush by using the big brush, I guess. Let's see. Those little ridges there. And happy with that. Check the eyes, check the eyes, check the eyes. The eyes look all fine. Yep. Okay. All right. Nice. All right, let's move you out of the way. Okay. I have a shark yet to get completed, so we'll deal with the shark next. For those of you who are around for the T-Rex, yes, I will be doing the T-Rex at some point. And if you're wondering why you can hear what sounds like a goat, that's because I have a goat next door. There's a goat next door to my house. And ducks. And yeah, things like that. Oh, that needs to be washed. It's still got wash. I got wash all over my fingers. My fingers are covered in wash. Hang on. Just give me a second. I'll just, yeah. Just going to leave that there while I just wash my brush out. Okay. And I'll change the angle in a second. Yeah, the monster tactics weren't too bad, eh? They're not very popular, though. I've found that not many people actually watch them. But anyway, that's all right. It's my game group tonight. We're going to play Dungeons and Dragons. Hang out together for a little while. See if we can't deal with these giants that have been causing so many problems. I feel like I'm just about gianted out when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. The next one's got to have, like, hardly any giants in it. Something else. Something different would be good. Oh no, not gas. Full damage. Fred, did you thanks Simon? Yes, I did. The monk barbarian build, yes. It was really cool. It was. You got to understand that Simon doesn't really like the monk. He knows I like wizards and I like monks, but he does not really like it himself. He can't understand how it works. He said essentially, I just don't understand how it works and what it's supposed to do. And then I said, stunning is the trick, and he agreed, and of course he would. And he's just sent me a message. He's going to be bringing a silly hat. Pardon me. It's been a while since I've had to talk. I've talked so little. Suddenly I'm in a live stream and I haven't talked so much. Okay. So first task is I'm going to take this brown. We're going to do the dark shadow in a second, but I'm going to use this brown, and I'm going to hit the teeth. Nowhere else, just the teeth. I believe Simon and me are going to do try to shoot a video tonight, after the game or before the game or something like that, really quickly. And it'll be on building a wizard. And of course it'll be a cleric wizard, because that's probably one of the most overpowered and effective ways to build your wizard, is to multi-class it into cleric to get particularly the life cleric. But he would build a wizard differently to me, so it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. Although most of the advice I've ever got about how to do a wizard build has been from Simon. My wizard build was more a product of necessity, since nobody wanted to play a cleric or a wizard at the time. So I thought, well, fine, I'll do both. Okay, so I'm doing the sort of the toenails with this brown. Painting it on kind of a little bit like, I guess, just like paint, I guess. Well, I'm not guessing, it is. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I saw a picture of the paints station. 5D mod. No problem. Just wanted to be to help me. Yeah, no. Look, when people have sent me stuff, via email, wanting to do collaborations, and what they do is they just really want to talk about their view of the game. And I when I did the collaboration video, I did try to explain to people, send me a picture, or should I say pictures, or a very short video that I can look at. If I like it, I'll put it on the channel, and we can have a little chat about it via Skype. But yes, I think a lot of people didn't quite understand what I was trying to communicate there with that particular video when I did it. Instead, I guess they're... And also, too, nothing's going to happen quickly. So when you send things to me, it gets done at the pace that I can manage, which is going to be very slow. Dark Sun campaign, I think that's unlikely to happen. I've run a Dark Sun campaign. I'm playing a very dark wash to this animal, this Sharkman. So it's probably going to take a lot of the brightness of the creature away. So if you're wondering what's going on, that's what is going on. It should hopefully darken it up a little bit, and I'm losing control of this brush, so I'm going to go to the smaller one, see if I can get that to control it a bit better. Well, it is like Tolkien and Gary Gygax with Hobbit and the Balrog. I mean, if people promote D&D, they advertise free for... Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly. That's part of the trade-off, right? Absolutely. I agree. Okay, so let's just... Probably not going to do too much to the underbelly of this thing. I can't just leave it completely because it won't work if I do the top section dark and then I don't do anything with the underneaths. But so I'm probably going to put the wash on very lightly where the lighter blue is, and then I'll put a lot more in the top section where it's a darker blue. I think that's probably the smartest way to deal with that. And okay, and then in between the legs, down, down. Good. Okay, now I'm probably going to take a brush and brush a lot of this on the underneath away, because it is pretty dark. And a little bit more. just need a drier brush to be able to push it around, I guess. Dry brush? No, I want a wet brush, don't I? Wet brush, that's what I want. We had a goat, foul creature they are, yes, but they do eat grass, and my neighbour has not had to mow his lawns ever since he got the goat. It just eats everything. Which I can understand why he's done it that way, so he doesn't have to mow the lawn. But yeah, it's a little strange, just a tad. Okay, so that's that bit. Now I want another brush, or a lighter one, and I'll just dip that in some water, and just go over this underneath section. And all I'm trying to do is just remove any really dark spots on it. The belly there's pretty dark already. It's not too much that sort of... There we go. And there, along that tail. And then this down this way. I think that's got it. Yep. Okay, cool. So that's that bit done. And now let's deal with the top. We need a lot more of this, and just brush it along that fin and along there. I'm going to need quite a bit more, I think. Nope, I know I'm going to need more. I don't think, I definitely know. Definitely going to need more. Never mind, that's right. I do have some more. Haha! Yeah, Dark Sun. The problem with Dark Sun, like I was saying, is that it's something that dungeon masters like, but most players don't really like Dark Sun because it's just so harsh and difficult to survive, and it's so far from vanilla Dungeons and Dragons. You know, not everybody's going to enjoy the Curse of Strahd. But when it comes to Dark Sun, that's another kettle of fish again. It's even harder for players to understand and get their head around Dark Sun, you know, because magic's sort of, you know, something you don't normally come across because it damages the world, and therefore you're never going to find that much. You don't really find metal weapons. It's all sort of bone, and you know, magic is sort of the sort of thing that you try to avoid because it's destroying the world. So a very, very different way of playing the game. Hence why I don't think it's something that will necessarily, you know, given all the books they've already released, I don't know that it's absolutely necessary for them to put out another book. I think what's more likely is they'll put out an adventure in Dark Sun rather than a campaign book. I think that's much more likely. Okay, let's just get under here. So I'm just working my way around the fingers. And we're going to switch over, use the other little small brush, and see if we can't just... Okay, and now we'll brush along here. Fingers, fingers, fingers. Da, 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 da. Yep. Move that around a little bit. I'm not looking for really dark shadows on my miniature. So if you're wondering why I'm brushing a lot of this off, that's really what's going on. Okay. There. Okay, so we need a little bit more, and I think we're just about there. Good. I'm very pleased. That's good news. So I've almost managed to get... I will make sure to bring back all of them so you can see each one that I've washed, because I've done 3 today. The Greyhawk setting. I played a monk in the Greyhawk setting. Oh, okay. All right, John. Yeah, look, to be honest, Simon is much better at character build stuff than I am. It's just his brain works like that. Mine doesn't really work like that. I guess I'm more keyed up for doing other things. I like modifying monsters, but I build a lot of like small, random, unusual encounters that aren't combat based, and NPCs, and you will eventually see them. I just don't know that they'll be very popular amongst the general audience. That's the only thing. They may well only find their way onto Patreon, and that's about it. I did actually put one of my NPCs on Patreon, which is Snowboarding Yeti. My brother did the concept drawing for, and he did a time lapse for it as well. But I shared that on Patreon. But there's a couple of other characters that I've got. Well, there's actually quite a few, but we'll see if they make it onto paper rather than just being in my brain. You never know with these things. Okay, so I'm going to just fill that. Let's get that in there, and that little bit. Okay, almost got all the little crevices that I wanted. And I think, let's just have a quick look at them. Well, it's definitely muddied up underneath. It's not quite so pristine now. Let's do the gills a little bit more. See if I can't get some of this in the actual gills themselves. There we go. We'll just paint it straight in. There we go. And then just move it around a little bit. Okay, let's try the other side. And the underneath. And a bit more. I think we've just about got it. Okay, idea. Okay. Alright, and a little bit in there, a little bit in there. Cool. Right, I think that's got Mr. Sharkman sorted out. We'll see how the underneath the lighter area has got a lot darker. I wonder if maybe I've gone too dark and I'll have to go back and sort of patch paint it. We'll see. Who knows? We will only know later on once it all dries. Painting some giants that came out cool, so I'm getting ready to throw them at my party. Well, giants, I've played Storm King's Thunder, and we're playing through a campaign, I don't know what it's really called, with Jean-Paul, and I'm so tired of giants. I'm ready for something else with a different focus. Dragon campaigns and giant campaigns over the last couple of years. I'm ready for something very, very different. Tell Simon to watch old TV show, TV show Kung Fu, then he will want to play a monk. I doubt it, Matt. I doubt it. It's not really how he works. I know what you're talking about. Kung Fu with David Carradine, which is a really odd TV series because it was supposed to be that character was supposed to be played by Bruce Lee. That was the intention. California, no worries. Sound is out, Fred? You really? There's no sound. Why is the sound out? There shouldn't be. Sound is coming through here on my end. I don't understand why you're not getting any sound at your end. That would be very, very strange. That's peculiar. It's got to be Twitch TV. Is the sound come back yet? Oh, okay, so Matt can hear him. It's just John. It's just at John's end. Okay. Sorry if that's worked out for you. There's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. Well, I am going to go make that video for you, Fred. We'll send in a few minutes. You don't have to rush, man. I also have Skype, so I will send you my contact info for that. Good night. Not a problem, John. I'll see you later. All right, let's show you what I've got. So this, we'll go through all three of them, so you can have a good sort of hard look. So this is the Sharkman, which I've washed, and I think it has made a significant difference. That's my opinion. I certainly think it is a lot less pristine than it was before, which is what we're after. So that's that one. And then we've got the Owlbear. Now the Owlbear, I think, that wash has worked really well, in my opinion. So that's the wash. And I used just one wash, just a brown wash over the whole thing. And I think it's the light pours. That's where it's made the biggest difference. So it's sort of made it less sort of clean, and a little bit dirtier and muckier and darker. And that's helped. So that's the Owlbear. Sorry if it's a bit wonky. And the last one, the Beholder, Xanathar the Beholder. So this is what it looks like now that it's been washed. And I will get around to doing some sort of very short sort of showcase videos on these miniatures for those of you who want sort of really close-ups, close-up pictures or close-up video of it, so you can see, you know, much better, cleaner view than what you're currently seeing. So that is it. All done. 3 miniatures, all washed in about an hour. It's taken me about an hour to do that. Hey, thank you to everybody who showed up. I do appreciate it. I know it was sort of short warning for a lot of you. Yeah, the Owlbear does look great, doesn't it? I think the Beholder miniature looks pretty good, but I think the Owlbear, out of all of them that I washed today, that's the one that really sort of shines the most. So, look, thank you for watching my video. I have hundreds of videos for players and dungeon masters, and if you're into watching people painting and washing and assembling miniatures, Twitch TV is the place to be for me. Usually the videos stay up there for about 14 days and then they come down, but I do download them and put them onto a different format so they can be watched by the patrons. They're just too long to put on YouTube for general audience as far as I can tell. And I just haven't been doing that. So, but you can watch them there. I have lots of videos for players and dungeon masters over on YouTube if you're interested. If you want to support the channel, the best way is really through Patreon. I wouldn't necessarily try bits and subscribing on Twitch TV. I don't think that's really a good idea if you ask me. I do have affiliate links to the Book Depository and Amazon over on YouTube, which helps support the channel if you use them. I have a merchandise shelf. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. Follow button. Hit that follow button if you're on YouTube, Twitch TV, because of course you are. And till next time, keep rolling those 20s.